Hello everyone, it's Chong here. How are you all doing? Welcome to another week of our Facebook Live show. And I'm so thrilled that you are joining me this afternoon for another week of our Facebook Live class. So for today, we are going to look at, in specifically, a very interesting topic, my absolute favorite topic, which we are going to look at what kind of diet is the best for fertility. Alright, so if you are someone who is currently trying to conceive, you are trying to search which diet is best for you, or if you're someone who's trying to conceive but need to lose weight first, this episode is certainly the one that you don't want to miss. So for those of you who are new to our channel, so my name is Chong. And I'm a prenatal dietitian who specializes in fertility and pregnancy. I'm currently based in Brisbane, Australia, and I run my own virtual consultations seeing clients from all around the world. I also have 2 consulting practices, one at the Myhealth Brisbane Showgrounds and the other one at the Sunnybank in Brisbane. So I mainly work with women and also couples to help them to create a personalized preconception nutrition plan to help them to optimize their fertility and also to grow a healthy baby to ensure that they have a safe and healthy pregnancy. Now, like I said, so today we are going to look at which diet is the best for fertility, and we're going to dive into specifically looking at some evidence, the current evidence of these 3 diets. So number 1 is the Mediterranean diet. And number 2, we're going to look at should you go on a low-carb diet. And lastly, we're going to spend some time to talk about the intermittent fasting diets. Alright, so if you know someone who is interested in these topics, please press the button now and feel free to share with any of your other friends and family members or colleagues, and make sure they tune in. Okay, now I see that some people are joining me live, so if you can also leave a comment down below and say hi to me. I would be interested to know where you're watching it in from. So okay, let's get started. So the first thing first, we are going to look at the different diet, but before we go into specifically the three different diet. And you probably, the chances are you probably have already been on one of these diets in the past. It could be for weight loss, it could be for other reasons. But I want to stress that for today, we are not just going to talk about a diet to help you to lose weight. We actually have a bigger mission, right? We want to actually to look at how these certain diets can impact your fertility. We want to ensure that you are still getting enough nutrient in specifically helping you to optimize your nutrients. I can see that Catherine. Hello Catherine, how are you doing? Thank you so much for tuning in Singapore. Hope you're doing well. And we are also going to look at how these different type of diets based on the current evidence, how is that going to give you the advantage of either to help you to optimize your fertility and also to help you to have a safe and healthy pregnancy. Okay, now, so the first diet that we're going to talk about is the Mediterranean diet. Okay, so first of all, what is a Mediterranean diet? So Mediterranean diet basically it's emphasized on a higher plant food-based consumptions, mainly like fruits, vegetables, whole grains products, legumes, beans, lentils, and also the healthy good fats, mainly from olive oil, nuts, and seeds. The key difference of the diet is also promoting moderate consumptions of white meat and red meat, in particularly the oily fish, dairy products and egg consumption, as well as keeping the alcohol intakes in moderation. In predominantly is the red wine, right? So when we look at the evidence behind the Mediterranean diet now, It's very largely known that Mediterranean eating patterns can help to reduce heart disease, type 2 diabetes. It's well documented, okay? And there are also studies showing that it may potentially also support weight loss and for weight maintenance due to the benefits of the antioxidants, mainly from the plant food-based products, very minimal processed food. It also very well known for the anti-inflammatory effects and also gut health. Now, what about in terms of fertility? So you may be surprised. So Mediterranean diet is actually one of the most researched type of diets in fertility health, right? So today I want to highlight two of the recent study to you, so you can have an idea, keeping up to date, what is the current evidence. So the first one is actually recently published just a few years ago. So basically, they are looking at for roughly about 244 women who age between 22 to 41 years old, who has a BMI above 30. Now, if you don't know what is a BMI, BMI is defined as your body mass index. If you haven't calculated that, go on Google right now and just try to search BMI calculator, and you just need to key in your height and also your weight. You will be able to work out what is your BMI and also your weight category. So this particular study actually looking at women who age between 22 to 40, who has a BMI above 30. Now, what the researchers does is basically they follow them through a period of time and look at the effects of Mediterranean diets and the fertility outcome. So this group of women also been known is they also scheduled to underwent IVF treatment. So what they found interestingly, based on the report, let me have a look at my notes here. Okay, so they found that 50% of women who follow the Mediterranean eating pattern, so which is defined a higher what they call the Med diet score, has actually successfully got pregnant. And it has a higher rate of the live birth, so they have a healthy born babies, compared to only 29% who, for those that who score a lower Med diet score. Okay, they also found that, right, one of the key results they found is that among women who has a less than 35 years old, there's also a beneficial 5-point increase in the Med diet score, was associated with 2.7 times higher likelihood of achieving a healthy and safe pregnancy and a live birth. So that's incredible. So that's one of the key results from a recent study. Now, there's also another study looking at, in specifically the Mediterranean diet. This study was quite recent as well. I believe that was published 2 years ago, and they're looking at 357 women who underwent assisted reproductive treatment. So could include those who went for IVF treatment. So they also found that for women who adhere to a Mediterranean eating patterns was associated with an increased chance of implantation, clinical pregnancy, and also live birth, which they have a chance of having a healthy born baby. So that was really promising result. So my thoughts are the bottom line. So in terms of based on the current evidence, so the bottom line is if you are someone who under the age of say 35 years old and your BMI is under 30, definitely Mediterranean diet is something that it will be beneficial for you to try it out. It may help you to improve your chance of having a higher rate of pregnancy rate, successfully getting pregnant, and also having a healthy baby, as well as may improve the IVF outcome as well. Now, while there's still no current evidence, right, supporting this approach in, say, a different group of women, say, for example, women who are older age, or women women who has a higher BMI, following a Mediterranean diet may still be advantageous, especially if you are someone who needs to address, say, other health conditions like your cholesterol or insulin hormones, or if you need to lose weight. Following Mediterranean diets with the help with a fertility dietitians like myself to work out a strategy plan for you, the right balanced nutrition plan for you, it will definitely still be advantageous for you. All right. Now, before we move on to the next diet that we're going to look at, is a low carb diet, I just want to emphasize on one more important point, is that Mediterranean diet has also been shown to enhance the sperm quality in men. Okay, so not just women need to do all the works, when you try to conceive, for your partner as well. If your partner has been wondering what can they do, well, certainly by changing the way they eat, by changing their lifestyle, a Mediterranean eating patterns will suit you and also your partner. So that is based on the latest evidence. Now, let's move on to the next diet, where we're going to look at the low carbs diets. All right, so what is defined as a low carbs diet? So, well, there's no strict guidelines, right, to really define how low the carbs should be. But generally, if you have been tracking your nutrition intake using certain app, generally, anything that under 150 grams of total carbs per day is considered as low carbs. Or if it's less than 45% of your total calories intake, is considered as low carbs. Now, if you starting to get confused with all this number again, that's when exactly you need to, it will be best to consult a fertility dietitian to work it out for you. What is your ideal carbohydrate consumption? All right. So carbohydrate food, just in case if you don't know what's carbohydrate food, so most of it are coming from, say, for example, bread, pasta, rice, noodles, or beans or lentils or milk or yogurt, fruits. These are the main source of carbohydrate. As you can tell that they are also incredibly, this food group also very essential, nutritious for fertility as well. That's why I would strongly recommend, if you do decide to go on a low carb, best to consult a dietitian. But generally, if you're thinking about going on a low carbs diet, we need to first define the type of carbs that you're having, and also what is the right amount that you are having every day. Setting a goal for you, as well as the timing for your carbs consumption. So these are the three key things that I often teach my client and work through with my client. Now, you probably also heard about keto diet as well. Now, keto diet is different from a low carb diet. So keto diet, the real definition, it's known as a very low carbs diet. So it basically means that for carbs consumption, it needs to limit to very low, which is like less than 50 grams per day, in order for your body to get into ketosis, right? So ketosis, it's a process where your body will mainly release ketone, mild level of ketone, as the main body food, instead of using carbs as the main energy source. Okay. Again, for today, we're not gonna go into keto diet yet. We're gonna leave it to another episode. But let's look at what is the current evidence when it comes to low carb diet. Now, thankfully, based on my research, there is one recent systematic review, which is a review that looking at based on the data of the 7 study who had already looking at the effects of low carb diet on the outcome, on the fertility outcome. So what the study found, very interesting, they found that by reducing the carb intake, plus if you also watch your food portion size, how much calorie you consume, it can help to reduce your insulin hormone, which is the key hormones for those of you in particularly if you suffer from Pcos, which is known as polycystic ovarian syndrome, or if you suffer from insulin resistance. This is a crucial hormone that you wanna improve on. It will also help to improve your hormonal fertility, hormonal balance, and help to resume ovulations to improve your pregnancy rate when compared to usual diet. And this is proven especially for women who are overweight or obese, who also have the PCOS condition. Okay, so however though, in terms of current research, we're still not clear, right? Still not clear how long you should go on a low-carb diet, or whether how long the diet is effective enough, how low is the carb you should aim for in terms of fertility outcomes. That is something that we are still not clear yet when it comes into the latest evidence. So what can you do? So the bottom line, and in my opinion, based on my years of experience working with clients, I would say that I would suggest, if you are someone who struggling with losing weight and your BMI is above 25, you also have say PCOS condition, polycystic ovarian syndrome, or if you suffer from insulin resistant condition, personally, that is something that I have worked through with clients for many years and have seen quite a good result in achieving in terms of weight, right? As you all know, that one of the key steps to optimize for fertility is actually helping you to achieve the optimum weight. Ideally 3 months if possible, is we want you to get into the healthy weight range to optimize your fertility. That is certainly one of the key steps. We need to get it right to help you to improve your egg quality. So I would say that a low carb diet is definitely something that you can consider. But again, I would strongly encourage you to consult with fertility dietitians or myself to really sit down and talk through about, okay, understanding what are carbs. You may be surprised sometimes, you may not even realize that, oh, this food has carb. Oh, this food actually, it's not as bad as you thought. So the first thing first, definitely, you want to work it out which are the healthy carbs, which are the unhealthy carbs that is going to hurt your fertility. You want to work it out what is the ideal amount for you to aim for every day, and get the timing of your carbs right as well, because all of these will impact on your weight loss result and also your fertility. So definitely don't do it on your own. Reach out to myself or one of the dietitians to help you to work it out with the right plan. Okay, now let's move on to the last one, which we are going to look at intermittent fasting. Well, intermittent fasting definitely has gained a lot of popularity in the recent year. I have received quite a lot of inquiries, and also my clients as well ask me, should I do intermittent fasting? So what is? So intermittent fasting is actually not a diet per se, like not really, it's a diet designed for weight loss. In fact, it's really looking at your eating hours, your daily routine, to create a period of fasting, right? So let me dive into a bit further. So for example, you may heard about 5-2 diets, so which involve 2 non-consecutive days of fasting day every week. Or you may also heard about is the 16-8 intermittent fasting, where you do it every day, but you shorten your eating hours to 8 hours period, and followed by at least about 16 hours of fasting every day, right? So basically what happened is that when you create that periods of fasting, your body will start to also utilize the body fat store better as a fuel. Okay, so indirectly, because you shorten your eating hours, basically you are minimizing your food intake, your calorie intake as well. That's why one of the advantages for intermittent fasting, it can be weight loss, but it also proven that it does help with achieving some result in terms of improving blood cholesterol level or blood pressure level as well. Another typical example is for Muslim community during Ramadan fasting period. So every month they will also go on a fast every month. Not every month, for a particular month. So for about 30 days from dawn to sunset, for spiritual reason as well. Okay. Now, what about in terms of the evidence for fertility versus intermittent fasting? To my knowledge, there's still no study actually specifically looking at intermittent fasting and also the fertility outcome for men and women. However, there are two recent studies looking at intermittent fasting on their effects on weight loss and also the heart health effects. So like I highlighted before, one of these studies actually analyzed 12 research study, which involved quite a large group of people, which is about 545 people. And when they compared the regular diets and also just a general calorie restricted diet versus intermittent fasting, they found that intermittent fasting actually leads to a much more significant reductions in BMI, better sugar result, better insulin result. Same as another study just published actually last year, which is incredible. They actually included 17 high quality study with more than 1,000 of participants. They compare intermittent fasting diet to regular diets. They found that intermittent fasting once again helped to reduce body weight more significantly, the body fat mass, improve the blood triglyceride level, which is the blood fat level in your body, blood pressure when compared to a regular diet. However, though, we do not know so far which type of intermittent fasting stand out at this stage. It's just too hard to tell at this stage because of the potential, the mixture of the study design. So at the moment, we do not know which type in specifically actually give all this benefit, but we do know that intermittent fasting do give you the health effects, some health effects. So what you should do when it comes to fertility, should you go on intermittent fasting? Look, I would say that whether or not you want to do the 5-2 and 16-8 intermittent fasting approach, my approach is I would recommend you again relook again your lifestyle, your eating hour, right? If you are someone who constantly snacking every 3 hours or at night time, right? In my experience, I have clients that eating very well during the day, but the key problem is when they get home, when they, after their work, after their dinner, when they finally sit down watching Netflix or TV, that's where they actually consume the most calorie, right? That's where they actually consume the unhealthy food, the unhealthy snack. Then I would urge you to really relook again your lifestyle, your eating hours. How can you set an eating routine, right? That really set you a goal, intentionally having the right diet having the right food during that eating hours, but also limiting you from eating unhealthy food, right? Especially at night time. So I would say that even though we haven't had any evidence to support intermittent fasting directly on fertility outcome, if you are someone who struggle with losing weight, again, if you need to improve your general health, and specifically your insulin level, I do think that intermittent fasting is an approach that you can consider. Again, I don't want you to go on a very highly restrictive eating hours, because I know some people could also fast very, very long hours, I would say a good practice for you is just start by aiming, if possible, no food after 8 p.m. And you can also start with setting yourself a 12 hours eating routine. Just make sure that you get a better eating habits, better lifestyle to get started. Alright then, so that's all that I want to cover today. And my final thoughts are, don't aim to lose weight fast, guys. So the chances of you probably have tried all sort of diet, right? You probably have tried so many different diets. Each time you lose weight, you know what to do already, but the real struggle is you can't follow it through, right? And you will end up beating yourself up again. You're just stuck in that cycle forever. So basically, what you need to do right now is to think back, what is it is the underlying root cause of your problem, right? It may not be a diet per se, but I would urge you to again look into, is that your lifestyle, is it your work, your stress, have you got enough of sleep, do you have a set morning routine, how do you switch off your brain, do you have an evening routine, your exercise. All these single things will influence the way you eat, will influence how you're feeling on that day, and also the food that you choose, right? So that is what I will work with my client as well. We're not just looking at diet. So we take every chance to learn better, to eat better every day, and to grow stronger, right? So if you're someone who struggle with weight, don't give up. The real thing is now you need to have a plan to move forward and to have a roadmap how to achieve your ultimate goal, which is getting pregnant, right? And to have a healthy babies. All right, so my take-home message for today is, let's just sum up things that we have covered for today. So number one is the Mediterranean diet. So definitely that is the most research type of dietary approach that you can try in terms of to optimize your fertility. And if you are someone who also needs to lose weight to optimize your egg health and fertility, certainly you can also consider incorporate low-carb diets or even the intermittent fasting approach. But again, I would strongly recommend you is to seek help, seek the advice from a fertility dietitian and also myself to help you to get started, because we want to do it right at the same time is to optimize your nutrition for your fertility. Now, before I go, you can actually also book a 15 minutes free nutrition assessment consultation with me, where I will first take some time to understand your conditions, the root cause of your problems, and advise you a starter plan for you. So if you're interested to book in a 15 minutes free nutrition consultations with me, please go to my website right now at catherinechong.com.au, book a consult. That's where you can book a time with me. Now, thank you so much for watching in today teaching sessions. Just one more thing, I would love to hear from you. Leave a comment down below and just share with me one thing that surprised you for today. All right then, I hope you have another fantastic week, and I will see you again next week. Bye for now.